like goodness.
This is only a small sample.
Yeah, there are much more. There are many more ologies, and so people will know theology. Everybody has a theology. Say everybody has theology. Whether you know it or not, whether you're atheist or agnostic, it comes from two words. You were right, Shania. The first one being theo or theos, which is Greek for God. Ology meaning the study of. So it is simply our study of God, and everybody has a viewpoint and an opinion on God. So everybody is a theologian, but as R.C. Sproul would say, the question is not whether or not everyone is a theologian. The question is whether or not they are a good one. and that makes a deal. Why is it important to have good theology? Can somebody tell me? I see two hands. Go. Whoever want to go?
You first.
I had an uncle. He never, when he was a lot younger, he never went to church, but he had beliefs. Mm-hmm. And he had this one belief that he swore up and down. The Bible says that if water travels over 9 gravels and a goose dropping, that it's purified. And he swore up and down that was in the Bible. See, he has some strong beliefs, but he had bad theology.
He does.
There you go.
And so what gets people, go ahead, Zach. You help Zach get him an extra bite of that chicken over there. So
Yeah, so thank you. I was just going to say it's a good way for us to be able to prove to others too, when we get questioned in our own walks of faith.
that's a way.
So we can prove to people that we know what the Bible says is true.
Mm-hmm. Everybody repeat after me. Right belief equals right behavior. A lot of times we see a lot of the excesses that we see in the Christian world because people don't have a proper view of theology. Now, there's two different types of theology. You've got biblical theology, which is more narrative, and that's what we really just came out of. We've been doing a form of biblical theology. We've gone from Genesis all the way through Joshua so far. And we've gone through there. If you've been with us for years, we've gone through quite a few books, but lately we've gone through Genesis, all the way through Joshua, and we've been learning about what types and shadows, what Christ looks like in the Old Testament. That's biblical theology. We're going through the Bible kind of like bit by bit, but what systematic theology does, it helps us to know everything about a specific topic and what the Bible says, because the Bible says this: study to show thyself influence, because everybody has every Sunday, but everybody and to have a theology, figure out what a and to have a theology, figure out what a counterfeit bill is. Everything about the real one, counterfeit bill is. Everything about the real one, if you automatically read the verse, the fair-minded, then those in Thessalonica find out whether those things were so. It's a dead book, but we're using theology. You know what it will say? They in heaven looking right down. But those things are important, so it's important that we know. And this talks about how the church, they search the word with all readiness. So what does that tell you? It tells you right off. We consume it to know what the Bible says about it. We see all these people. Man, every time I get theology and all these academic books, I just feel like I get too lofty and I lose my childlike faith. What does that say about a person?
They didn't have much faith.
They didn't have much faith, and they also have bad what? Theology. Because not one of them married their spouse until their spouse got to know them. Hopefully they didn't. You don't marry somebody unless you have an arranged marriage that you don't what? Know. And if you have an arranged marriage, you quickly get them what? Know them. So if you really love Christ, you want to know him. Let's look at 2 Timothy 2:15. What does it say? Be diligent, present yourself approved to God, a worker who does not need to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, which means that there are some believers that do need to be ashamed. That there are people out there that are non-believers that know more about your holy book than you do.